So guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video let's see how to create this amazing looking interactive design in our mobile applications using SwiftUI. This looks more or less like a fidget spinner. Anyway, let's get started. So before starting with the actual coding part, let me just talk a little bit about what we are going to go through. This is how by the time we finish this video, this is how the screen interface would look, guys. You could drag this and it would create an amazing curve like this, as you can see here, based on the position of our drag. And if you let it, will just snap into position. And as we drag it downwards, you could see that. And also you could see that the value changes here as well, right? If you drag it upwards, this increases and this reduces. And if you drag it downwards, this increases and this reduces. Not only that, it also, the number font size also increases and decreases based on the position of the drag. And there is some other cool effects that are happening here. For instance, the color changes based on the drag. And this is exactly what we'll be creating by the end of this video. Let's get started, guys. Let's get started and see how amazing this is as we code along the way. Now, before getting started, let me just talk a little bit about what we are going to go through. Initially, this feels like we could do this with a couple of rectangles and just offset them based on the drag value, right? But although that's true, we can't achieve this sticky curve effect while dragging if we use just a couple of rectangles. So what we'll be doing is drawing our own rectangles using paths and then create a curve on the horizontal bounds based on this is the horizontal bound. This is the horizontal bound. This is a vertical bound. So what we'll be doing is we'll create a curve based on the drag position, based on the user's touch and the subsequent drag position. As for the segment values on the right, the numbers and the sections and the header and footer options, these are just sprinkles on the code that you could just add with a easy stack. And so let's just focus on the boxes and the effect. Let's get started now. So initially I have like a brand new application and I have added like a couple of fonts here. Nothing fancy in this. I've also added the fonts in our info file. These are the three fonts that I'm going to be using among these. So I just added those three. And more or less I have assets. I just have this pink color which I grabbed from the original UI design. And I have this menu button. That's it. The menu button that's here at the top. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have in preparation, and let's get started. Apart from this, is just a brand new application that will get scaffolded whenever you create a new app using Xcode. So initially, I'll just go ahead and remove these and create a new view here. Let me just go ahead and create the variables that we'll be using. First, let's have these two values. Okay. So for that, what I'll do is fine. Next, what I'll do is these are variables just to hold the drag values, the amount of distance that I have to displace whenever offset whenever the user drags one of the let's get started with the Z stack. As soon as this loads, this will take up exactly half of the original screen size. So yeah, let's initially, now this doesn't look white because if we add a fill, you could add white here, but it won't look, and you won't be able to see. Let's just add a green for now. Yeah. Now we need to create another box that this is going to be, like I said, this is going to be exactly similar to the previous one. The only difference is the coordinate system that we'll be changing a little bit. So the box will be, in other words, the box will be drawn in such a way that it starts from here and then ends here, unlike the previous box which started from this corner and ended here. All right. Now you can see that we have created like the base of what we are trying to achieve here. This is a box that's being created by this, which is nothing but a struct that returns a shape. The shape is nothing but few parts that I have added like a rectangle so that it looks a little bit like a box. Now, if in case it's touched, that is, if in case it's changed, this will automatically start to draw a curve. This curve, there is an important thing to notice here, guys. Let me finish this. Let me finish this drag part and then explain how this curve thing works. So now that we have these two, I just fold these up. Let me continue and implement the drag gestures first, and then start to tell you how exactly this works. All right. Now that we have done this, let's see how this works. As you can see here, this works really cool, whereas this doesn't. Doesn't seem to be much animation. There seems to be some sort of stiffness, right? That's because we aren't positioning Z stack. Okay, inside Z stack you can position elements based on something called Z stack index, guys. So the Z stack index starts at 0, and whichever element is at 0 is the one that's going to be placed at the bottom, and the element which has the value 1 is going to be placed on top of the element that's at 0. The element which has the index value as 2 is going to be placed on top of the index value of 0 and 1, so on and so on. As the index value increases, the elements will be placed on top of one another. So in this case, what we need to do is we need to assign a Z index for both this and this. So first, for this Z index, this value will be white index. And for this Z index, this value will be pink index. Fine, that's it. Now let's try once more. If we pull this, the animation is better, whereas here there doesn't seem to be much animations, right? Let's check what's happening. Spring, this is fine. So yeah, unchanged, unended with animation. Okay, duration we need to specify too. Yeah. What's this? Even if we move the touch points, the drag gets moved accordingly, right? And then it gets reset. Similarly, if I pull up, this looks as if the background is pink as well. If you get what I'm trying to say here, right? I'm tapping on this white box and I'm pulling up, but as the white box converges at a particular point, it looks like the area behind it is pink, so that it looks as if the pink part is also bending upwards, so towards the point of drag. First of all, let me clarify one thing, guys. Let it be any of these boxes. As soon as you start to drag, this on change will get triggered, right? This on change will automatically trigger this change toggle. What this change toggle would do is it will start to draw a curve. This curve, what it exactly does is that the square curve has two stuff. One is the 2, which literally denotes from where to where the curve should happen, and the control point. This literally denotes exactly, like if the curve is this much, then the curve happens from this edge of the phone to this edge of the phone, and the control point is right at the point where I am tapping and pulling the box. You get it, right? I don't know if I made my point, but you can see that here it's 0 and current white value, which is 0 and the amount of drag that I have pulled. And here it is max width and current white value, that is this point to the current white value that I have pulled. So if I am pulling from here, there are two curves here that are created. One is from the leftmost edge of the device to the, that is 0, to the point in which I touched and pulled. The other one is the rightmost edge of the device, that is the X point, and the point, you understand the X point and Y point, right? It's exactly like a graph coordinate. So from here to the point in which I touched and dragged. So there are two curves that are being created here to create this effect, and the control point is this one, touch point. The touch point that I have, the touch point that I'm translating right here. Where is it? In the touch point that I'm translating right here, and then passing it on to this call. So yeah, that's exactly how this works, guys. This amazing curve effect works. This is exactly what we try to create in this video. Now the other stuff, like I said, all the other stuff, wait, let me show you. These stuff are all just sprinkles on the cone. They are just like stuff that you add on top of each other in the Z stack. So let's just quickly do that. These stuff, okay, there are like a few points that I would like to go through once more. These stuff are nothing but static stuff, right? They don't do anything. Whereas if you notice here, there are like segments that have been like a scale marks. The topmost one is long, the second most one is a little bit smaller than the topmost one, and the rest of them are all of the same size. Similarly, the bottommost one is bigger, and the second bottommost one is a little bit smaller than the bottommost one. So let's just have three categories of dashes. That is, one is the major dash, the mid dash, and the minor dash. So let me create an enum for that. Although this looks like a tedious work, it's pretty much simple. What we need to do is the actual tedious work is the box creation of the box and then this dragging effect. Once we are complete, now okay, here we have something, right? Some logic to disable the drag. So let's see if this logic triggers. This is the white box. If I pull the white box below a certain point, what was the point again? It's 80. So if I pull this below 80, now you can notice that the drag has been disabled. I'm trying to do this, but I simply can't drag it anymore. But if I use the pink layer now, I can simply drag it. Similarly, if I pull the pink layering up to a certain point, this would get disabled now. As you can see here, I can't move it up or down. But if I drag the white one, yeah, once again, both are working. So yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to show here for disabling drag gesture, but that's not needed now. Let's just go ahead and create that segmented scale like markings here. And you notice that it also changes the color accordingly. So let's try to recreate that. So in order to do that, what we need to do is we'll, like I said, first create an enum. Alright, now you can see that there are some ticks added here, but there aren't any added here, right? That's because we need some logic in place to bring in the colors. So far, what we have is this, right? Tick color 7. So this is exactly what's being used to calculate the color here. But in reality, this shouldn't exactly be the only measure. As the user drags this up and down, the tick color should change accordingly, right? So what we'll do is first we'll give some padding for this, and then we'll also ensure that this doesn't, as you can see here, if I tap on this color is there, and if I bring this down, this is getting shown here, right? So this literally shows us that this has been moved to the bottommost element in the stack. We need to bring it on top of these two draggable boxes. So what we need to, first I'll add some padding, guys, and then I'll talk. Padding edge insets top, so I'll use some 85, leading 1. Yeah, now you can see that the thing is being, but if you move up and down, the color isn't automatically being changed, as you can see here, right? So let's write some logic for that. Let's write some simple logic to see if we could change that color. Although it appears as if the color is getting changed whenever, okay, we'll just change it whenever the dragging is complete, dragging ends. Okay, that would be much easier. So let me start from the pink box. All right, now let's try dragging this. As you can see here, as we keep dragging, based on the drag value, the color changes, right? So yeah, this we have achieved now. Simple. This is rather simple, guys. This is pretty much self-explanatory as well. This 14 is nothing but the total number of dashes. So whenever the dragged value has crossed the halfway mark, it literally means that I have to add that with 7. I think I might have confused you guys, but if you run through this logic quickly once again, you will understand it in a better way. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Now that we have done this, let's go ahead and do the top and bottom footer and header bars, and then we'll start with the overlay. All right, now we can see that we have this. Okay, we don't have the footer because, as I said, once again, this is a Z stack, and we need to give an index. Yeah, now we can see that. Wait, where is the? Man, this index is for this. Yeah, now we can see that we have this amazing. Where is it? Fine. You can play around with this, however you want, guys. Let's just move on. Let's just move on and create these two overlays. So what we need to do for that? We already have the values. Wait, let me collapse these. We already have the values here called moved pink and one more thing, right? What was that? Yeah, this one, current pink value, drag pink value. We already have this. So all we need to do is populate it here. Okay, now we have created an overlay, but what we need to do is we need to move this overlay to a particular point, and not only to that particular point, the overlay should also shrink and grow rapidly, right? So in order to do that, what I'm doing is I'm taking the white value itself, and once it crosses 30, I'm increasing the white value automatically by 15 so that it looks a little bit bigger as the dragging happens. Also, I need to move the overlay a little bit here, right? So I'm using an offset, and then I'm going to calculate this overlay move white value dynamically as the user tries to pull up or pull down. Alright guys, now we can see that we have finally reached the point where we can simply drag and notice that the font size changes as you drag this, as well as the color of these segments changes as well. And you have this nice looking curvy effect as you drag through this. You can see this, right? Looks really cool. So yeah guys, this is exactly what I wanted to show you guys today. I know this doesn't look exactly like this, since they have, like, as soon as you drag, they have pulled down these 2 points as well, whereas we are using, wait, let me show this on a, whereas we are using those 2 points as the, wait, yeah, now if I keep dragging this, you can notice that the left and the rightmost X point are the 2 anchor points, and the curve is being created from the point where I am doing the drag, right, from the point where I am touching. Whereas if you notice in the original design, those anchor points are being moved as well. As you can see here, if he pulls down, these anchor points are being moved, and if he pulls up, these anchor points are being moved as well. I tried that for a long time, but that doesn't like exactly look as cool as this. That's why I gave up. But if you want to like try it out, let me know in the comments, and then I'll give you a tip on. You just need to change these two as well. That's it. This curve point, right? Wait, I'll show you now. Why do I have to wait for people to drop me a comment? Yeah, this here, the curve is there, right? This curve, this x is 0 and x is max width. This literally means these 2 points, the left and rightmost point, are being held as the anchor. This point and this point are being held as the anchor points. So if you want to like exactly do as this and then like move this dynamically, then all you need to do is change this as well. Change this point and this point, this 2 value, for this 2 value, not the control value. For this 2 value, you need to change those 2 points. And similarly, you need to do for the pink box as well. So in that case, if you do that, if you like pull it up, this will, the left and right points will also get pulled up as and when you pull this down or up dynamically. So yeah guys, that's exactly what I wanted to show you guys today. This is a really cool looking effect, guys. Hope you really like this video. If you found it useful, kindly hit the like button, and if you found it helpful, kindly share it with someone else. If you would like to like contact me, or if you would like to suggest something, kindly drop a comment below, or if you're getting stuck somewhere, kindly drop a comment below and I'll try to resolve your situation. And yeah guys, if you really like what I'm doing on the channel, kindly subscribe to my channel to watch more cool and more videos on SwiftUI like this. So yeah guys, that's it. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.